Hello everybody, David Schuster here. If you like videos of Democratic lawmakers standing up to and hitting back at right-wing extremists, you're going to like this video. By most accounts, the most hated member of the U.S. House of Representatives in both parties is Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene. Nearly every Democrat and many Republicans find her obnoxious, uninformed, and extreme. And Greene just learned that interrupting a colleague does not go over very well. Here is House Democrat Robert Garcia criticizing HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. You will hear Greene's voice suddenly break in.
Our current HHS Secretary is an anti-vax conspiracy theorist, and that is a fact. He caused a measles outbreak in another country that caused the death. Absolutely. That caused.
No, he did not.
He absolutely did.
That's a lie.
Proven
RFK did not cause a measles outbreak.
Miss Greene,
you sound ignorant.
You are an
that's
anti-vax.
Ignorant,
you are
and that's
an
a lie.
anti-vax conspiracy
no,
theorist
I'm for
yourself.
choice. I'm
You're
for
the
parents
number one
and people
anti-vax
choosing.
conspiracy theorist.
That was my fault.
Mr. Chairman, am I recognized? Am I recognized?
Our witnesses were snoozing, so I had to spice it up a little bit.
Amidst the spice, in case you couldn't hear it very clearly, Garcia called MTG the #1 anti-vax conspiracy theorist. Greene said that she is not, and she called Garcia ignorant. And Republican Chairman Comer said the eruption happened because the witnesses were sleeping and needed to be woken up. Comer is not my cup of tea, and his jokes rarely land, but at least he tried. All of this began at the House Oversight Committee hearing on restoring trust in the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is part of the Department of Health and Human Services, and Republicans insist the entire agency is tainted by the strong promotion of COVID vaccines. Garcia said the lack of public trust now actually relates to the Trump-Doge shredding of public health agencies, as well as RFK Jr.'s anti-vax conspiracy theories. Chairman Comer responded with this.
I'm not defending or trashing what you said about Robert F. Kennedy. It's just that conspiracy theories are in the eyes of the beholder. So,
Sir, do you think that children should be getting the measles vaccine?
That children
should be receiving the measles vaccine?
All my children are vaccinated.
And do you think that we should be getting vaccinated for COVID?
Well, I think there's a lot of questions about COVID that we need answered. But measles, yes.
And I
recognize this.
And again, our current HHS Secretary is an anti-vax conspiracy theorist, and that is a fact. He caused a measles outbreak in another country that caused the death. Absolutely, that caused.
No, he did not.
He absolutely did.
That's a lie.
Greene, of course, is wrong. What Garcia is talking about is an RFK Jr. visit to Samoa in 2019. Kennedy visited the Pacific Island nation and publicly supported leading vaccination opponents there. Kennedy's actions gave credibility to anti-vaxxers who succeeded in increasing vaccine hesitation among Samoans. In a blog post, Kennedy even hailed one of those vaccination foes as a hero. Well, a few months after Kennedy's visit, and with vaccination rates in Samoa plummeting, there was a measles outbreak. It killed 83 people, mostly children. Kennedy has denied having anything to do with the tragedy, but the outbreak has long been a source of criticism of RFK Jr.
You know that, of course, that's just the beginning. RFK Jr. has said that 5G and Wi-Fi can cause brain damage, ADHD, radiation sickness. He's said that pesticides are actually turning people transgender. He's even questioned whether HIV causes AIDS. He's made comments, of course, that alkyl nitrite, better known as poppers the sum, is the actual cause of AIDS. He said during a campaign event that 100% of the people who died, the first 1,000 who had AIDS, were people who were addicted to poppers. In his 2021 book and 2023 interview with the New York Times and New York Magazine, he repeated claims that question the causes of AIDS despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. In my opinion, RFK Jr. has been and will always be a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. He should be anywhere near HHS, medical opinion, and our research in this country.
Some of that research has been eliminated or put on hold thanks to Doge cuts and government funding freezes. Recently, Kennedy did his first network news interview since taking office in the Trump administration as HHS Secretary. Here is part of the report and interview from CBS News.
I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Since his appointment in February, Kennedy has facilitated sweeping cuts for programs and staffers alike. You proposed more than $11 billion in cuts to local and state programs addressing things like infectious disease, mental health, addiction, and childhood vaccination. Did you personally approve those cuts?
No, I'm not familiar with those cuts. We'd have to go.
There's like more than 50 pages of cuts that I actually went through.
The cuts were mainly DEI cuts, which the president
There were
ordered.
a lot, but I'll give you, for example, about $750,000 of a University of Michigan grant into adolescent diabetes was cut. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, and that's something that we'll look at.
To be clear, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a charming guy personally. I've had the opportunity to interview several times, and he's delightful. And he often sounds thoughtful and reasonable. That's why, in part, he has been an effective and influential voice, unfortunately, for the anti-vaccine movement. But his likability and his claims to be removed from program cuts and measles outbreaks do not erase an exceptionally controversial record and do not erase the truth. And it gets even more controversial when right-wing conspiracy theorists like Marjorie Taylor Greene try to lie on Kennedy's behalf or pick fights with lawmakers who hit back. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.